Once again, welcome back. In the last lecture, we discussed in detail about the classification of error. So they are broadly classified into three main domains. First one is called as gross error, second one is systematic error, and third one is called as random error. So what is gross error? It is nothing but a type of error which occur during the measurement process because of human mistakes. And to overcome, or you can say to minimize these error, what we need to do, we need to pay a very careful attention while taking the reading of unknown quantity, or we need to take at least 3 reading, or say more than 3 readings, and finally we need to take the average of all those readings in order to minimize the effect of gross error. Then instrumental error are nothing but a type of error which occur during the measurement process because of a fault in the instrument itself. Maybe the construction of that instrument is not done properly, or it may possible that the internal resistance of that instrument is going to affect the reading at the time of measurement process. Then we are having observational error, environmental error, and finally we deals with random error. So what is the concept of random error? As I told you in the last lecture that in universe there are many factors which are going to affect, or which have the tendency to change the reading of unknown quantity. Some factors are known to us which we collect under the domain of gross error, systematic error, and many of the factors are unknown to us, but they are capable enough to change the reading of unknown quantity, and those factors we are include under the category of random error. And because we don't know the exact reason for these type of error, it is very difficult to do the mathematical analysis, but with the help of some what we can say statistical mathematical tool, we are in a position to analyze the nature of random error. So in this lecture we are going to deal with those statistical mathematical tool with the help of which we are in a position to deal with the nature of this random error. So let us start our today's session. So in this lecture we are going to learn some statistical tool with the help of which we are capable to decide, or capable to what we can say check the nature of random error. So I can write here as statistic analysis of a data. So the first definition under this topic is called the central value, or you can say center value. Now what is center value or central value of the given unknown quantity? I can say that this center value, or you can say central value, is nothing but that value of unknown quantity which is very close to its actual value. Now what is the meaning of this? For example, if we are trying to measure a current flowing through a circuit with the help of an ammeter, and we got some reading in the fashion like first reading of ammeter is say 1.6 ampere, second reading of ammeter is say 1.7 ampere, third reading of ammeter is say 1.8 ampere, then fourth reading of ammeter is say 1.7 ampere, fifth reading of ammeter is say 1.6 ampere. Now if you plot a distribution curve using these readings, so we can have a distribution curve like this. The magnitude which we got in first reading is 1.6 ampere. So on y-axis we need to take the magnitude of current in say ampere. On x-axis we are going to take the instant of reading. You may take it as a time in second, or say in millisecond. So the magnitude of current in first reading is 1.6 ampere. Let us consider that that instant is somewhere over here, so it is R1, and the magnitude of current is say 1.6 ampere. Now in second case, we got the value of current as 1.7 ampere, so somewhere over here it indicate R2 and this indicate say 1.7 ampere. Now in third reading, we got the current magnitude as 1.8 ampere. So somewhere over here we are having the value say 1.8 ampere, and the corresponding reading is R3. Similarly, on fourth reading we got the value of current as 1.7 ampere. So somewhere over here we are having 1.7 ampere and the reading is R4, and R5 is 1.6 ampere. So somewhere over here we are having R5, which is nothing but 1.6 ampere. Now if you join all these points by a smooth curve, we will find the relation like this. This graph is called as distribution curve, and from the figure it is very clear that the curve is something like a bell-shaped curve. Now this value which we got from reading, which is nothing but 1.8 ampere, indicate the central value, or you can say center value of that unknown quantity, which is in our case is nothing but the current flowing through a circuit. So this 1.8 ampere indicate the closeness, or you can say this 1.8 ampere is very nearer to the actual magnitude of circuit current, maybe say 1.9 ampere or maybe say 1.85 ampere. So this value is nothing but central value or center value of unknown quantity. Now the second definition under the category of statistic analysis is nothing but arithmetic mean. Now what is this arithmetic mean? It is denoted by symbol capital X bar. Arithmetic mean is nothing but the mean, or you can say average of all samples, or you can say all readings which we got at the time of measurement process. So the average, or you can say the mean of all those reading at the time of measurement process, that single value is nothing but the arithmetic mean of that particular reading. Suppose at the time of measurement process we got some samples indicated by symbol say small x1, x2, x3, x4 and so on up to xn. So what is small x1 indicate? Small x1 indicate first sample, or you can say first reading. Similarly, x2 indicate second sample, x3 indicate third sample, x4 indicate fourth sample, and xn indicate nth number of sample. Small n indicate total number of sample. So mathematically I can write arithmetic mean, which is nothing but x bar, is nothing but the average of all these samples which we got at the time of measurement process. So we know the basic formula of average, it is nothing but sum divided by total number. So I can write here as small x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus so on up to xn whole divided by total number of sample, which is in our case indicated by symbol small n. So this is nothing but arithmetic mean indicated by symbol x bar. Now the third definition in the category of statistic analysis is nothing but the concept of dispersion. Now what is dispersion? Dispersion is nothing but a factor, or you can say a quantity, with the help of which we are in a position to identify how the samples are scattered, or you can say spread, with respect to its corresponding central value. That factor which explain us the spreadness, or you can say the scatteredness of samples with respect to its central value, or you can say center value, we are defining in terms of dispersion. Now what is the meaning of this? Now what is the meaning of this? It means that let us consider the two cases, or you can say let us consider the distribution curve of two different experiment indicated by curve 1 and curve 2. So let us consider the distribution curve of first experiment is indicated by curve 1, and its first sample is x1 and second sample is x2, and another experiment has a distribution curve like this indicated by curve number 2, having the first reading as x3 and second reading as x4. Now what is this dispersion? I told you that dispersion is nothing but a factor with the help of which we are in a position to explain how the samples, or you can say the reading, are deviated with respect to their central value. In this case it is very clear that in both the curve, or you can say in both the experiment, the central value of both the experiments are nothing but same. So here it is nothing but a central value, or you can say center value. So in curve 1 it is very clear that x1 and x2 are scattered, or you can say spread with respect to their corresponding center value by this amount, whereas in curve number 2 x3 and x4 are spread, or you can say scattered with respect to central value by this amount. So this factor is nothing but what? Dispersion. So dispersion is nothing but you can say a quantity with the help of which we are in a position to explain how the readings are scattered, or you can say spread with respect to their center value. So that factor is nothing but what? Dispersion. In continuation with this point, we are having another definition which is called as the range of experiment, which is nothing but the extension of dispersion. Now what is range of experiment? Range of experiment is nothing but the difference between the highest value and the lowest value of a reading available in the given record. So in order to understand the concept of this range, let us consider the same example. So from curve 1, the highest value and the lowest value of readings are, highest value is say x2 and lowest value is say x1. So if you take the difference between x2 and x1, so this x2 minus x1 defined the range for first case. In the same way, we are in a position to calculate the range for second experiment. In second experiment, highest value of reading is x4 and the lowest value of reading is x3. So if you take the difference between this x4 and x3, this defined the range for experiment number 2, or you can say for curve number 2. And let us consider that if the range for first case is indicated by symbol R1 and the range for second case is indicated by symbol R2, so from this diagram it is very clear that the magnitude of range 2 is more as compared to range 1. So this is the range for first experiment and this is the range for second experiment. So this is the concept of range and dispersion. Now the third definition under the domain of statistic analysis is nothing but the concept of deviation, which is one of the most important concept. What is the meaning of deviation? Now deviation is nothing but a quantity with the help of which we are in a position to identify the scattering, or you can say spreadness of reading, or you can say of samples with respect to their arithmetic mean. So that factor is nothing but what? Deviation. So what is deviation? Deviation is nothing but a factor, or you can say a quantity, with the help of which we are in a position to define how the readings, or you can say sample available in a given record, are scattered, or you can say spread with respect to their arithmetic mean value. So that factor is nothing but what? Deviation. Remember one thing, there is a difference between dispersion and deviation. डिस्पर्शन हमें क्या बताता है कि जो गिवन सैंपल्स है या जो गिवन रीडिंग है विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू सेंट्रल वैल्यू किस तरीके से स्कैटर्ड है या फिर किस तरीके से स्प्रेड है, दैट डेफिनेशन इज नथिंग बट डिस्पर्शन. जबकि डेविएशन हमें क्या बताएगा कि जो सैंपल्स है या जो रीडिंग है विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू देयर अर्थमेटिक मीन किस तरीके से स्प्रेड है या फिर स्कैटर्ड है, दैट डेफिनेशन इज नथिंग बट डेविएशन. नाउ फॉर एग्जांपल, डेविएशन of first quantity with respect to arithmetic mean is indicated by symbol d1, which is given by x1 minus x bar. Similarly, deviation of second reading, or you can say second sample or second quantity with respect to its arithmetic mean is indicated by symbol say d2, and it is given by d2 is equals to x2 minus x bar. In the same way, we can write deviation of third quantity with respect to arithmetic mean is x3 minus x bar. In the same way, we can write deviation of nth quantity with respect to its corresponding mean is nothing but xn minus x bar. So this is what the concept of deviation. Now, if you take the addition of all the deviations, what we will get? Let us try to find out. So if you add all the deviations like this, d1 plus d2 plus d3 plus and so on up to dn. So mathematically I can write here as x1 minus x bar plus x2 minus x bar plus x3 minus x bar plus so on up to xn minus x bar. So if you take minus x bar as common, so I can write here as x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus so on up to xn minus, here if you take minus x bar common, so it is going to be n time x bar. And from the definition of this arithmetic mean, we know that this n time x bar is nothing but what? Addition of all the readings, or you can say all the symbol. So this term is going to be what? 0, which is very, very important. That means if you take the average, or if you take the addition of all deviation, that is always going to be what? 0. So this is the concept of deviation. Now, what is the meaning of average deviation? Average deviation. So from the name itself, it is nothing but what? It is the arithmetic average of absolute value, which is very, very important. Absolute value means we need to take magnitude of deviation only. That means we need to ignore their sign. We need to take only the magnitude. So what is average deviation? Average deviation is nothing but the arithmetic average, or you can say arithmetic mean of absolute value of all deviations available in a given reading. That average value is nothing but the average deviation. Now let us try to calculate the average deviation for our previous case. For example, in previous case we got the deviation for each value is say d1, which is nothing but x1 minus x bar, d2 which is nothing but x2 minus x bar. Similarly, d3 is x3 minus x bar, and dn is nothing but xn minus x bar. Now the average deviation, which is indicated by symbol capital D bar, is nothing but the average of absolute value of all possible deviations in a given reading. So I can write here absolute value of first deviation plus absolute value of second deviation plus absolute value of third deviation plus and so on absolute value of nth deviation whole divided by total number of reading, or you can say total number of sample, which in our case is small n. So I can write here as x1 minus x bar, that to absolute value, plus x2 minus x bar absolute value, plus x3 minus x bar absolute value, plus xn minus x bar absolute value whole divided by small n. So this is the mathematical formula to calculate the average deviation. Sometimes we also define average deviation is nothing but the sum of absolute value of all deviation divided by the total number of reading. So I can write this expression as d bar is nothing but summation of d, that to absolute value divided by total number of reading. So you can calculate the value of average deviation via this formula, or you can calculate the value of average deviation via this formula. The thing is, in both the cases we got the same value. So this is what the concept of average deviation. Now next definition under the category of statistical analysis, or you can say statistical data analysis of given reading, is standard deviation. Standard deviation. Standard deviation in short form is SD. Now what is standard deviation? Standard deviation is defined as the square root of sum of individual deviation square divided by the total number of reading. So what is standard deviation? It is nothing but the square root of sum of individual deviation square divided by the total number of reading. Mathematically I can write here as, with respect to our previous case, standard deviation is nothing but the square root of sum of individual deviation square. So here I need to write d1 square plus d2 square plus d3 square plus and so on up to dn square whole divided by the total number of reading. Now there is a little bit change here. In this case we are having two different possibility. We may take n or we may take n minus 1. It depends upon the magnitude of this n. So here in the denominator side we need to write n, or we need to take n minus 1. Now when to take n and when to take n minus 1, that we are going to discuss. So case 1, let us consider that if the total number of reading, which is indicated by symbol small n, or the total number of sample are less than or equal to 20. In that case the standard deviation is indicated by symbol small s, and we need to take n minus 1 in the denominator, which is very very important. Whereas it may possible that in some experiment we need to take more reading, more than 20. So if the value of n is more than 20, in that case this standard deviation is indicated by symbol sigma, and we need to take only n in the denominator. That means we are having two different mathematical formula to calculate the value of standard deviation. In first case, when the total number of symbols are, or you can say the total number of samples less than 20 or equal to 20, we need to use n minus 1 in the denominator. And when the total number of readings are more than 20, or the total number of samples are more than 20, then in that case standard deviation is indicated by symbol sigma, and we need to use only n in the denominator, which is very very important. And this concept you need to remember when we are doing numerical on this particular topic. Now there is one more concept related to standard deviation, which is nothing but variance. Now what is variance? Variance are nothing but the square of standard deviation. So once you know the value of standard deviation, with the help of that we can calculate the value of variance. So variance are nothing but the square of standard deviation. These two cases are also applicable in variance also. That means when the number of samples are less than or equal to 20, we need to use this formula where denominator is n-1, and when the number of samples are more than 20, we need to use this formula to calculate the value of variance.